Go to Infendo.com and join our Discord and ask us a question.
If Mario and Luigi were to do a podcast, it might sound something like this. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this unusually
Tutto
somber...
matato.
There it is. I was waiting for it. Thanks, Charlie Day.
Jeez,
welcome to
Luigi just doesn't let Mario get a word in edgewise, does he?
Welcome to Infendo Radio, episode 660. My God. Welcome to the show, everybody. I knew he was going to do it, but then he didn't do it, and I thought, wow, I guess it's just going to be a chill, quiet episode.
But nope. Here he is.
That'll teach me to criticize his choice in intros. Welcome to the show. In case you couldn't tell by Eugene and the other one, who's not making all the loud blaring noises.
For once.
Other one, how you doing tonight? And where can the people find you?
I think I was the other one. You can
sure as hell weren't Eugene.
I can't remember. It's one of those nights. It's going to be one of those shows. I'm apparently not doing very well according to the sound effects. No, I'm doing okay. You can follow me on Twitter at InfendoJustin and check out the DisneyParkBench.com. I've got a new blog that should be going up soon, and I have recently posted a movie review of the original 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie you can check out, because that was released by Hollywood Pictures, which was a Disney subsidiary, so it counts. Of course, the review on the Disney Park Bench is a condensed version of the review that I wrote on Infendo.com, so be sure to check out the extended edition of my Super Mario Brothers movie review on that site as well.
I honestly thought you were going to go with, that's a condensed version. For the full version, visit my Patreon page where you can pledge at the $20 level.
That's marketing.
I have a Patreon, but I don't have enough followers for anybody to donate. So if you would like to, there is a link on the Disney Park, several links on the DisneyParkBench.com if you would like to become a patron and get.
You heard it here first. Get the full articles.
Get some advanced access to stuff.
All right. Well, Eugene, where are you getting your advanced access these days?
I am just chilling on Infendo.com. That's where I do the things. Honestly, though, I've been spending a lot of time on TikTok lately, I hate to say. I've been toying around with the idea of opening up an Infendo TikTok account. I don't know what I would put on there, but yeah, I thought that might be fun. We'll see. Stay tuned. Maybe my wild dreams will turn into something. I don't know. Lucas, what are you ticking and talking? What's going on in your world?
Definitely not TikTok, that's for sure. No, not much for me, honestly. Like, all of my social medias have been dead quiet, and that's the way I like it. So if you want to hear what I've been up to, watch this show. That's pretty much it right now. Right. Yeah, well, we've got a show for you, and in the interest of expediency, I'm just going to get right to it here. There were a couple of trailers that dropped this week, and one of them we all saw, and the other one we didn't. So let's start by talking about the one that we didn't all see.
That sounds like a prediction, but I think it's probably accurate.
Yeah, let's start with the one that we didn't see, and then we'll move into the one we did see. Justin may have been the only one who saw this first one. Pokemon Scarlet/Violet got a trailer this week. Showed off a new Pokemon. As I understand it, it is Girafarig's evolution, so that's exciting. Eugene has seen the Pokemon, and that's it, because he has not watched the trailer. I have not even seen the Pokemon. I just heard its name spoken once to me by Steve in a dream.
Whispers
Justin,
of Steve.
Did you actually watch the trailer?
I did not.
Excellent.
My interest in Pokemon has drastically waned. I will probably someday play Legends Arceus again, but I don't foresee myself getting sucked into another Pokemon game for the foreseeable future.
So as we know, I am contractually obligated to speak for Eugene. So I will speak for both of us when I say that our interest has not waned, but in fact, we are already so on board for Scarlet and Violet that we just don't want to spoil ourselves with more trailers. You know, we want to go
Yeah.
into this game blind. So yeah. So
I
so
I
that's my
learned
reason.
my lesson, my once and
Right.
for all with
Hmm.
Pokemon, the Poke Dojo or whatever it was called with Brawl.
Yeah.
I feel like that killed
The
my experience with the game
Smash
because like
Dojo?
yeah, thank you. Whatever it was called,
Yeah.
Smash Dojo, because I
Yeah.
knew
Oh no,
everything.
same.
I knew
Wouldn't it have been
everything.
fun to have gone into a Smash Brothers game not knowing all the characters? Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
whole reason the DLC is so exciting these days because it's like, oh
Right.
wow, somebody we don't know about. And then the internet spoils that like 5 characters in advance and
Right.
ruins the whole thing. Yeah, no, I remember when Pokemon Sun and Moon came out with the Alola regions and everything, there was only one Alola variant that I didn't know about before the game came out, and that was Geodude. Every other
Mm-hmm.
Alolan Pokemon I had seen in trailers or through news and stuff, and I am dead set on trying to go into this one with as little information as possible because I already know I'm going to get it. I already
Yeah.
know I'm going to love it. So like, why ruin more of those experiences for me by seeing stuff at a time? You know. So
Right.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the trailer none of us
That's that
watched.
one.
So let's talk about the trailer we all did watch and the one that I'm excited.
Yeah.
The Super Mario Brothers movie is
Hey, let me let,
coming.
let me go first here because screw the internet. I don't know why they're mad.
Oh, dude. Yeah, big same. Big same. Go ahead.
Like what the hell? This was so cool.
Yeah.
I went in with like the lowest expectations, honestly. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, okay, this is Illumination film. It's probably not going to look that great, and it looks amazing.
I don't
And like,
understand why everyone is saying Chris Pratt didn't put any effort into the Mario voice because
yeah,
admittedly we didn't hear that much of it, but it just sounded like he was doing kind of like a throwback Brooklyn accent
right.
Mario. Like he was like the Mushroom Kingdom. You know, it sounded like the kind of thing you'd hear in
Mm-hmm.
like the old cartoons. And he looks
Mm-hmm.
like he's from the old like to me it felt like it felt like the natural progression of like you watch the Mario Brothers Super Show and then this movie came out like in the same year kind of thing. Like if that
Sure.
was like I don't know, it just seemed fine. The only one that didn't really seem to have like Jack Black, he still sounded like Jack Black to me. I knew it was Jack Black, but he was at least trying to do a little
Still
kind
loved
of
it
like
though.
cartoony voicey thing.
The first
Luigi.
couple of lines that he did didn't quite
Yeah.
sound as much like him as later
Yeah.
when he, you
Yeah, then he
know,
got a little darker and more interesting. Luigi, we only really heard like a scream, but he just straight up sounded like Charlie Day. So I'm curious to
Yeah.
hear what he's because
But I
I'm
love
gonna
right
have
that
to
though.
now,
That's
watch
so
it
great.
again because I didn't. I don't remember my thoughts on Luigi, which
I liked it.
yeah.
I'm
yeah.
I
in.
mean,
I'm in for it.
I mean, the movie looks like it's going to be at least, an entertaining way to spend,
Yeah.
100 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look bad. As far as the voices, like we really, aside from like a couple of lines from Bowser, we really haven't heard anybody say anything of note. Like
Hmm.
Mario didn't speak a single complete sentence, as is typical in the games.
Hmm.
But like you said, we only heard Luigi make noises. Um, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be cute and funny
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
entertaining.
think
So
I
the worst thing we get is an okay movie that's fun to watch.
I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to be another, which is exactly what I figured it was going to be, another 7 out of 10, like Sonic the Hedgehog,
Sure.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu, like that kind of movie that like you go and you watch it and you say, yeah, that was really cute. And if it wasn't an IP that I was already immensely familiar with, like it'd probably just be any other animated movie. But because it's one that I actually care about, that notches it up to like, yeah, I'm going to buy this and rewatch it in another year, kind of, that kind of thing.
It
Like,
in
yeah.
in my way of rating movies, it's the difference between a 3 out of 5 and a 3.5 out of 5. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the fact that I have a vested interest in these
Yeah.
characters and
Yeah.
situations makes the movie more enjoyable
It's
for
already
me.
more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
even though
Yeah.
the movie itself might not be great.
I
Yeah.
don't need this to win any Academy Awards or anything.
It'd be
Like
great if it did, like
Sure.
it would be
Yeah.
nice to be pleasantly surprised and find out that this is like the video game movie to end all video game movies.
No, what I
but-
really want to talk about with this movie is the canon of Mario discovering the mushroom. No, I'm kidding. What I really want to talk about in this movie is how many
The
people are
Mushroom
complaining.
Kingdom timeline.
right from the beginning, people had been complaining that, like, oh, they robbed Charles Martinet of his voice acting job and da da
Right.
da da. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way or if there's like a group online that feels this way. He would have been so annoying if he just did his regular Mario
Yeah.
voice. That would have
Yeah,
been
that is.
so boring and grating after like 2 minutes. Like, I understand the Chris
Yeah.
Pratt hate train, but like you can't have that voice for a character. It doesn't work in the long term, you know?
Well, exactly. Like, I mean, there was the perhaps the option. Like, we've heard Charles Martinet kind of tone down the
Down
high
the
pitchness,
Mhm.
yeah,
woohoo,
when he has to
here we
deliver
go.
a lot
Yeah.
of lines,
Sure.
Yeah.
but it's still. And the other thing of it is, um, this version of Mario is going back to the whole he came to the Mushroom Kingdom from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
whereas, Charles Martinet just when he went into for his
Yeah.
went in for his audition, he heard Italian and went with Italian, even though they were looking for that Brooklyn accent. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, Chris Pratt seems to be kind of going back to that Brooklyn, which works for the character. I don't know.
Well,
Just wait
well,
until a real trailer comes out with actual dialogue.
Well,
Then judge
it reminds me of the old cartoons, and that whole
Yeah.
that kind of Mario. Like that's what it feels like.
Well, and
And Mario looks a little off from how he looks in like the games, which is nice because
I
you don't
think he
want him to
looks-
just look like he's. I do too. Like I think he looks good.
Yeah, I
But,
think
like,
it looks
it's a-
great. Like, I
yeah.
love
but
the
it's a
detail.
but it's a different look, like the shape
For
is
sure.
just a little off and a little different, and it kind of reminds me of like watching like the cartoons and stuff. Like it's the same with like the Sonic stuff. Like, yeah, they could have done like a shot for shot retelling of like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and stuff in the Sonic movies, but they didn't do that. They made the character look a little different. They gave him a new origin story. They gave him a new universe, and like that all works for that movie because it doesn't have to like supplement an already existing storyline. It has to be its own thing. And I think that's what this movie is trying to do as well, right?
It's
not
so
going
funny
to be
we're
like
saying that
yeah.
this week, but last week we were poo-pooing on Resident Evil for doing exactly the
Yeah,
opposite.
exactly. It's weird, right? Like there are things where you care about that and things where you don't. I don't know. I guess
Sure.
it just comes down to
Mario's
like
never had a lore though, right? Like what is
Yeah,
Mario's
nothing-
lore?
nothing
Exactly.
serious,
It's basically
you know?
been
They've been, like-
retelling the same story in every
Yeah.
game with slightly different, like, set pieces for 30 years, 30
Yeah, well,
some odd years.
The plot of Mario never really gets more developed than a game like, I guess, Super Mario Odyssey, which tries to tell like the vaguest of tales, right? And I guess if you really want like hard Mario lore, Paper Mario series is pretty good for that. If you want a Mario game that tells a story, play the first 3 Paper Mario games or the first 3 Mario and
Sure.
Luigi games. Both solid options, but they're all in their own little universes anyway. So yeah, no, it looks good. It looks cute. It looks fun. I'm looking
gonna
forward
watch
to
it.
watching it.
My
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. It looks-
my final thoughts on it are Heather saw the trailer and she thought it looked cool and she wanted to watch it. So that tells me that hey, somebody a little bit outside the video game sphere thinks that it looks interesting.
Well,
And
exactly.
not just
My
somebody, a
My
girl.
wife watched it. My wife went out of her way to watch it, which surprised me. Like she came home from work and said, "So did you see it?" And like even she said, it looks like it's gonna be a cute movie. Like
Mhm,
and
mhm.
she cares nothing about video games or Mario or any of that. So,
Mhm.
I mean, kind of like the Detective Pikachu movie. If this was something that can attract her attention, then that says something. That's what Nintendo wants. They want these non-gamers to go see the Mario movie
Exactly.
and then buy a Nintendo Switch and play the games.
Oh my God, how many
Yeah.
Switches is this movie gonna sell? Like legit, though.
Just wait till they come out with the Super Mario Brothers movie game.
Oh my God, Super Mario Brothers.
It's going to
the
be a
movie, the
fighting
game.
game with
Yeah.
I would buy that.
digitized actors.
As somebody who put way too much time putting like hyper realistic
Yeah.
Mario characters into Soul Calibur 6, buy that game in a heartbeat.
They
I
needed
want
to get a
Chris Pratt-
stand-in because Bob Hoskins died
Yes.
and Dennis Hopper
Sure.
died. So.
Chris
I want
Pratt
Chris Pratt's
as Mario.
I want Chris Pratt's Mario in Smash now. I want that.
You
skin.
know somebody's gonna mod that. Somebody's gonna do the
Right?
skin and the voice, and that's gonna be a whole. That's gonna be a thing. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm not like saving the date or anything. When it comes out, I'll watch it. Like I did with all the other video game movies. But we've entered a decent period for video game movies. I feel like
Yeah.
they're just there's period of just like video game movies are fun again, you know, they're not just like cringe fest, you know, money grabs. So
Video games
Yeah,
have really
I
entered the
finally
zeitgeist,
watched the
though, you
Sonic
know?
the Hedgehog
yeah,
movie,
it's
and
true.
it was enjoyable. So
Yeah,
like I said, if Mario is as enjoyable as Sonic was, then you got
yeah,
to hit it on your hands.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, it's an agreement. We all approve, which means Nintendo, go ahead and finish
Three
working on this
thumbs up.
movie. We give you our permission to make this thing, so make it good. We're gonna kind of pivot real early and to change the system because we all got some things we got to talk about. So
Most definitely.
I'm gonna let Eugene go first tonight, I think. Eugene, you
All
ready
right.
to change some systems?
Yeah, let's talk about Pokemon Go. So there's
You're
been a
gonna
couple of events
change
coming
the
up.
system.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, I need to
very
get
much
in
so.
on that.
Uh,
Oh man, that
and,
November event.
and I'm
Shoot.
pretty sure they heard all the complaints because like the internet's just kind of been mad at Pokemon Go lately,
Well,
from
Pokemon
this.
Go has kind of sucked lately. Let's be
Yeah,
real. Like they made it good and then they made it bad, and now it's just like it's weird, right? Like things
yeah,
are
like the
weird.
from the fact that incenses don't really work the way they used to
Mhm.
anymore, to the fact that they're not giving away the free daily boxes anymore. Like a lot of people are just like kind of, okay, I'm moving on. But now Dratini is coming to as a community day, so like
November 5th.
I need to get on that.
I do too. I've had a lifelong dream of having a shiny female Dragonair, and this is my chance to make that dream a reality, and I'm gonna do it.
I need that pink Dragonair girl. I need her bad.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
don't ever evolve it into that ugly green Dragonite. Don't you
Now,
dare.
see, there's room in my heart for Green Dragonite, but that has to be a different one and probably a male, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, totally. But yeah, no, I'm all the way hyped for that event. I hope
Yeah.
that they're not so stingy with the shinies because they have been very, very much so lately. I think
That's
that's
okay.
going to
I'll just
be
play it all day. Just do it all
that. Well,
day.
that's what I was going to say. That's an event for sure that we're going to be playing all day. We're going to be out
Oh,
at the
yeah.
park, like doing
Uh-huh.
the thing. So
Yep.
should be fun.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about a game that I should be wrapping up here pretty soon in Deathloop.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
no spoilers, but like, man, it is a really good game. I'm really enjoying the story. I'm really
Yeah.
enjoying the time loop aspect of it. Give me time
Hmm.
travel in a game or a movie or a TV
Yeah.
show, and I'm like all the way in. I just love that crap. Eat it all the way up. Nom 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 nom.
Now,
It's so fun.
are you like me though? Do you feel like there was a big missed opportunity to make the game like truly open world? Because I would have
Sure.
liked like the one thing that bugged me was that like you go to one area during like morning and then an
Mm-hmm.
area during afternoon, and each one is like its own little segmented level. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
wanted to like have to sprint across the map and be like, oh crap, the scientist is gonna be in the science center in the afternoon. I gotta
Sure.
get like Majora's Mask style kind of stuff, you know, like eh.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a missed opportunity. I think that the way that they built the game, though, that would have made it really hard because
Yeah, oh for sure.
afternoon
Yeah.
it gets like snowy and stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Like
yeah. No,
um,
definitely. But that would have escalated it for me from like an 8 to like a 10.
sure.
And yeah.
If they could have gone a little bit more Majora's Mask with it, right? Like it's like okay, like I am physically fighting the clock, that would have been interesting. But regardless, I'm really enjoying this game. The thing that I am liking the most about it is honestly just learning about the backstories and
Yeah.
how effed up all these people are.
Hmm.
Like it's really good. And then there's you've beaten it, right?
Yeah.
So there's the one twist, and I saw it coming a mile away, but the way that they
You're talking
introduced it,
about the relationship between the two
yeah,
main characters? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that come in, but the way that they did it, I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is cool. Like I'm digging it. So
I'll be
yeah,
really curious to see what happens when you get to the end of the game because yeah.
I'm on the final day, so I've gotten all of my So if those of you who haven't played it, the object of the game is basically to kill all of these people called visionaries to end the loop. Because if you kill all the visionaries, then you can end this time loop somehow.
Hmm.
And you have to do like You have to do certain things like, something in the morning might affect something in the evening type of thing. There's a lot of things that you have to figure out to find a
Yeah.
way to kill all of these, I
Yeah.
think,
Like if
8
you
visionaries all in
like
one
if
loop.
you sabotage the fireworks in the morning, then they can't do the fireworks show and they have to move it to the ballroom. So then you get like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's very cool. Like I'm really digging it a lot. I'm really sad that I'm going to be ending my time with it soon. I
Yeah.
might play a little bit as Juliana, but I'm not really there for the multiplayer, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's not going to be my jam. But yeah, No Man's Sky is super fun. Really excited that it's on Game Pass. I think if you even have like the Xbox regular, like the Xbox One or whatever, or Xbox Series. Wait, Xbox. God, I hate the naming of these consoles. If you have like the Xbox One or the Xbox One X, I
Hmm.
think you can still play these games via like the streaming, but I think it's a series exclusive or on the PlayStation as well. Get it? It's fun. It's nothing but praise for Deathloop. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much all that I've been playing. Let me think. No, yeah, not really anything that I want to talk about quite yet. I put a few minutes here or there into a couple of other things. I'm working on a project in VR that is turning out to be something that is a lot harder than I thought. I'm trying to turn a bunch of DOS games into VR for some reason because like
Hmm.
there's a DOS launcher that you can add to your Oculus. And I was like, hell, I used to play a bunch of DOS games.
Jeez.
I'll play Solitaire in VR. Why not? But I can't for some reason I can't get it to launch. So yeah, that's my life. Playing games from the 1980s. What you guys been playing?
All right, well, I'll jump in next, I guess, because I'm pretty much just going to talk about one game, and I think it's the same game Justin's going to be talking about. So I'll get the
I've
ball
pretty much
rolling.
only got I've pretty much only got two, so I'll segue off of your one.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been playing before I dive in here. Obviously JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that's been on my list. They just announced the first DLC character, and it's a really good choice, and I'm really excited. So that's really cool. Steve and I have been doing just the tiniest bit of Monster Hunter when we can. Not a ton of time because now Steve gets up at like 6 a.m. for his job, and I've been super busy and stuff. So we get in like one a week kind of thing where we've been getting together. We're actually doing that tomorrow night, but just slowly inching my way toward 100 so I can fight the super secret, super final boss before all the post game DLC final boss stuff comes out. But that's been happening. And then I actually picked up Near Automata, but I have not played it yet. So that exists in my library.
Is
But
that on
yeah,
Switch?
yeah, came out on Switch like
What?
last week. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and contrary to rumors that somebody, I want to say Steve asked me about, it is not a cloud game, it is just a game. So, that exists, and I've been waiting to put in some
Man,
time.
that's gonna get me tempted to buy that one, but I still want
Yeah,
to get Splatoon, so I don't know. I don't
You
yeah,
know.
haven't gotten
Splatoon
it yet?
exists too. Yeah.
No, I've been
Well, to be fair, look at how much we've all dropped off on it. Like we knew we
sure,
would.
sure. I've been just trying to play through all these other Game Pass games, quite
Yeah.
honestly. It's like why spend $60 when I have all these games for free? It's really hard to
Hmm.
justify buying new games right now, so.
Yeah. Speaking about games that we already own and rebuying them and replaying them, I did get Skyrim Anniversary Collection. I turned it on for a minute because I heard that there are horrible bugs and I wanted to test them. Some people said that the frame rates are like atrocious in certain cities. So I went to those certain cities and I didn't really notice anything, but that could just be my overwhelming inability to notice frame rate dips. So I don't know, but nothing horrible happened to me. The game didn't crash unexpectedly. The game didn't like chunk up. So
Yeah, I played it a little bit and didn't notice any major performance differences. I did see a few of the new features, but I didn't play enough of it to really dive into everything it added. But yeah, I
yeah,
also bought the expansion for it because someday I'll finish that
Hmm.
game.
Yeah, I would have dove into it if not for the fact that I dove into another open world game that I'm going to talk about now,
Oh,
which is called No Man's Sky.
Open
oh, that little
world,
thing.
open solar system, open
Galaxy.
galaxy.
So I really like this game and I'm really happy I tried it. Oh my God. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody that's listening to this probably already knows what No Man's Sky is. But for those of you who don't, no
Mhm.
shame. I didn't either. It's a big old open world game. There's a little bit of crafting and building and stuff involved, and resource gathering and item management and stuff. And you go from planet to planet, getting closer and closer to it. Seems like the main story mission, quote unquote, is to get to the center of the galaxy. Not unlike Spore, a game I like in this one too quite a bit. I told Eugene before the show, this game kind of reminds me of if Spore was really good, which
Sure.
admittedly, looking back on it, it wasn't as good as my childhood brain made it seem. Same concept of like galaxy hopping and going from place to place, exploring new planets. Really cool. So yeah, I booted in Survivor difficulty, which is a little bit harder than like the normal sandboxy mode because I wanted to try like a bit of a challenge. Item space is more limited, so you can only hold so much of each item, and kind of like oh no, I already have 100 bits of oxygen, and if I get any more, I can't get carbon, and then I can't make this thing I need to make, kind of stuff. So that's a thing. Also, when I die, I lose everything that's not in my ship. So when I accidentally was trying to build a warp drive and fell off a mountain, I lost all my progress and had to not only fix my suit, but then get all the materials again to refabricate my suit. So I've been kind of enjoying that. The game actually has a really cool option for like difficulty scaling where you can go into each individual feature and change what you want. So it's
Oh,
like,
cool.
oh, I
Yeah, I
I don't
just
feel,
discovered that
yeah, it's nice,
last night or the
right?
night before.
Yeah.
That's cool,
Yeah,
actually.
and like there are three like primary settings. There's normal
Mm-hmm.
mode, there's survival mode, and there's
Permadeath mode, basically.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I think it's called creative mode.
Oh,
And
there's
so,
that too. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so creative, obviously, you don't have to worry about the survival. Normal has it kind of like a lot of games where if you die but can get back to the place where you died, you can reclaim
A
all of your
Dark
stuff.
graveyard.
Souls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then survival is what Lucas is describing. So
Mm-hmm.
those have presets, but you can go in to all of those presets and adjust them so that maybe you want to play in survival but you don't want to lose all your stuff. You can go in
Yeah.
and change that, or you can change like how much damage everything does. Really like customizable. You
Like
can play this game exactly how
every
you want.
everything, like the amount of energy that you burn when you use like your jetpack and stuff, how quickly things like radiation or high heat and stuff
That's
affect you when you
pretty
go into a
pretty
planet,
cool.
how quickly you gain affinity with all the different like alien races and stuff, and like everything is changeable. And
I
you can even
I
make the game super easy and turn off losing your stuff altogether if you don't even want to do like Dark Souls style, which is nice.
I really appreciate that because that stuff
Yeah.
used to be like cheat menu type stuff or like debug menu
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff back in the day, Like that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely all for options.
Yeah.
Let me have fun with your game, and because that's what it's really there for.
Yeah, and I love, like I was telling you, Gene, and we all know this. We've heard the show before. I love being like punished for failing in a game. Like it feels good to know, like as I'm hurtling toward death, crap, if I don't fix this, there are real consequences. It makes the death that much more like impactful to me.
There's
So,
there's also a mode that you can play, by the way, where if you die, it deletes your game
yep.
save.
Yeah,
So
it's just
like
it's
it's
just
like it can
gone.
be that hardcore if you want
Yeah,
it to
if
be.
you want that, which I enjoy in Fire Emblem, but not in this game yet. So let me give
Yet.
my experience here because I don't know how typical my experience was for a No Man's Sky playthrough. I imagine probably pretty, but I found it incredibly bizarre my first time through. I actually started getting a little frustrated. Part of that was, I think, because I was on Survivor difficulty. But I started off on a planet that had like a toxin thing going on, like a radiation thing. So I basically just pop into the world and it's like, you're dying
you're
of
dying.
radiation poisoning. And I'm like, holy crap, what do I do? What do I do? So I ran around in circles for a couple minutes, couldn't figure it out. And then it's like, okay, you need to get to this thing and build this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to figure that out. So I spent like 3 tries trying to maximize my efficiency to run to my broken ship so I could like follow the tutorial and do what I needed to do. Finally did that. Then I started gathering supplies and it's like, okay, now you need oxygen. I'm like, there is nothing on this planet that provides oxygen. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Wandering around this map, finding little plants in caves and little trees that have oxygen. Finally got off the map, and then I hadn't died for like a good like 10 hours in game, and then I fell off a cliff like an idiot. Yeah, but oh my god, I love it.
So I'm gonna cut in here for
Yeah,
a
we'll
minute.
chat back and forth.
Sure.
Yeah. So I first played No Man's Sky on the Xbox One, and I talked about it on the show like a year whatever ago, whenever it was I played it. And my first experience with No Man's Sky was very similar, except I think I died of exposure to whatever the planet threw at me about 3 times before I finally figured out, oh, okay, if I shoot this rock, it gives me, something that I can use. And if I pick up this plant, I can keep myself alive a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then I finally discovered, oh, look, there's a ship over there. And when you get in the ship, it actually protects you from the environment.
And it increases your shield defense, so it goes back up, kind of thing. Which is nice.
So once you reach the point where you find the ship, everything gets quite a bit easier. But there's still that survival element of, I have no supplies, I have no base. The only thing that I have to protect me is a ship that won't run, and you have to.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of survival elements to the first few hours of the game that the first time I played, I did not get. It took me a long time to get the hang of.
It really is like a trial by fire kind of experience. When you
like it just drops you on a planet that's immediately killing you.
And it's not indicative of the rest of the game, because once you start getting like, you'll easily start to amass a number of like batteries that charge all of the things on your suit. You'll start to get like power-ups for your suit that make you last longer. But then at any time, especially if you play on a difficulty like mine, you can die, and if you happen to be like poorly managing your items, you lose all that stuff. And then like right when I died, I was like, crap, I'm right back where I started, where I have no way to keep myself alive on this planet. Like, I got to go back to the ship and hit up a space station.
It's very Minecraft.
Shopping. Like, yeah, it really is. And it's not like cubed. Like, everything doesn't exist in little like boxes and stuff. It's very organic. But there's a lot of like, even to the point where before the show, I was on this one planet that I love. Like, it's become my favorite planet that I've been to so far. But the one downside is it has boiling hot rain every now and then. And I was walking really far away from my ship, and all of a sudden it's 200 degrees and the rain is burning through my suit. So I have to dig myself a little tunnel and curve it in a way where the rain won't hit me. And I just kind of camped out there while I was talking to Eugene, waiting for the show to start tonight. So, like, there is that level of like Minecraftiness to it, where it's like, oh crap. But man, it's just so much fun. I have set up now, because I found a couple of really cool planets. I found a hexagon planet in my starting solar system, which is like a unique planet because I got like an achievement for discovering that. Then I found another one that's called like a glitched world or something that has these like pillars of light shooting out that I love. And then I found this like vacation home planet that I've been hanging out on with the acid rain. So on each one of those now, I've built like either I've gone into a cave or I've built a little base, like a little house to live in or something, and I've put portals in them so I can portal jump from like planet to planet. So all the planets
I have not built a single portal yet.
Yeah,
so
the planets I love, I'm creating a portal system for so I can get back to them. Because you can also apparently get pets, like there's animals you can tame, and there's animals
I see you can like feed
I don't
them,
know,
but
I don't know how yet, but there's one that I really want on the Paradise planet. So I put a portal up on a mountain right next to where they spawn, and I'm like, okay, when I can get you, I'm coming back for you because you're my favorite thing ever. So like,
is there any like combat in this game, or is it all just kind of like
sort of like there's certain animals on like every planet has at least one creature that's hostile towards you, and it'll come charging at you, and if you don't kill it or run away from it will kill you. But you just shoot it with like your Okay, see, I usually find one, at least one on every planet. But
all I've seen
you basically use the same gun that you mine with to shoot it. and
Very
then
dead
it'll die,
space.
and you'll get whatever. Yeah, yeah, and it's if you shoot it in the side, it does some damage. If you shoot in the head, it does even more damage, and then it
There,
dies, and you get like the parts of it to in your inventory.
Very
there
So yeah,
are
Monster
there's
Hunter.
combat,
also
but not really. Like you're not like it's not
Sure.
Dark Souls in that you have to like memorize patterns and all that, but
there
things
are
are going to try to kill you.
there are also these super obnoxious sentinel drones that are on pretty
I
much
have
every
not
planet.
when you said Sentinels, I had no idea what you were talking about.
Dude, every planet I've been to has sentinels, and they're the most obnoxious thing ever. So they are these drones that fly around and observe you. And if you happen to be gathering any resources while they're watching you, they will become hostile and attack you in like a wave pattern where, oh, I've killed one. Now there's two. Oh, I killed those two. Now there's four. They
Oh
can attack you
no.
in space. They can attack you on the ground. Now, I will say the space battles, I immediately souped up my gun to be like as good as I could get it, and I didn't worry at all about my shield. I've been
Haven't done a
killing
single space
pirates.
battle.
I've been killing pirates left and right. Like every time I go into space, a pirate's like, "Hey, give me your money," and I'm like, "Screw you, buddy!" And then I just blow them up, and everybody loves me, and I get free stuff. So, like, I'm going full bounty hunter. But yeah,
I did discover one thing on the planet where I got my hyperdrive plans.
yeah.
Right outside the base where the plans were stored was a biological horror. Um, so there were these eggs just kind of sitting on the ground,
Oh, I think I had
and
a
I'm like,
similar
"Oh, I
thing,
wonder what this
actually,
is." And
yeah.
I touched one of them and exploded into all these like
See, I
monsters
didn't
that I
touch
couldn't.
them because they looked horrifying.
So I had to hide in my ship until they ran away. This
God.
game, I'm just gonna jump right into
Yeah,
mine.
just keep
Like this
talking.
game has become my obsession. I've completely
It's so
forgotten about
good.
Animal Crossing at this point. This game is going to be my Breath of the Wild. Like I can
I was
already
telling
tell. Like
Eugene,
That's what Lucas said.
this is
like
I told
yeah.
Eugene before you got here, I understand now how you like a game that's essentially just nothing. Because
Yeah.
this game is like everything and nothing at the same time, you know? And I
It
didn't
is
like
all
that in
like
Breath of the
the
Wild, but I
things
like
that happen to
here.
you that didn't happen to anybody else. Like
The
Right,
feeling,
right.
the feeling of like finding out that the planet is about to have like a freezing cold that will kill everything in sight, and running to your ship and getting inside and being nestled in your nice warm ship while you watch like freezing winds tear through the planet is so satisfying. I love it so much, man. Like it's so good. Yeah.
It is great, and like so like I said, I first played this game on the Xbox One, and I really got hooked on it when I played it. But I knew that I was never going to devote any time to it as long as it was tethered to the TV, because I only
Yeah.
get to
Sure.
play on the TV like 1 or 2 nights a
Yeah.
week. So as soon as they announced it for the Switch, I said, if this is a playable version of the game, then I'm definitely getting it, because and I've already devoted so many hours to it
Yeah.
since it came out,
Yeah.
because I'm just obsessed with it.
There's $40, right? It's not a full price game. Is that correct, or is it 60?
I don't even remember.
I want to say it's 60, but
Oh, okay.
I'm not looking at the price right now, so I will confirm or
Sounds
deny
like it would
that
be
for
worth
you
a
in a minute.
$60 though.
I will
a
definitely
full-
get $60 worth out of this game.
Well, and the thing that's so cool about it is like everyone's experience is unique. Like, yeah, if you follow the main, like, quote unquote story, you're kind of all going through the same path, right? You're being guided to what seems to be like the center of the universe, where you will uncover some truth or whatnot. But like, you don't have to do that at all. Like, as soon as I got like warp drive and I could go from universe to universe, like star system to star system, I just started exploring. Like, I went in a completely opposite direction. I was like, I just wanna see the game for a while, you know. And when I get sick of planet hopping, I'll go back to like, my primary mission or whatever. But it's just so satisfying to just see things.
It is a $60 game, but I mean, if
Sure.
like Lucas and I said, if you really like that kind of immersive gameplay and exploration and survival and all that, like you'll get your $60 worth of. Now,
Captivating.
yeah, like it is crazy. Like I'm just loving this game. I've discovered so much about it that I never got around to. Like I didn't even get to having a hyperdrive when I played it on the Xbox One. So that's a whole
Dude.
new thing that I've discovered. And
I tried to make it to a different solar system without a hyperdrive for a
Oh
while.
no.
I turned on like the max speed and I just flew it straight for like an hour and I couldn't find anything. And then I was like, well, guess I'm gonna watch YouTube videos and fly home. And like that sucked.
I don't know if it's even possible. I
Uh,
mean, maybe it is, but
I don't think it is because every time you jump, you go into like a loading screen to get to like
yeah,
the
yeah,
next
it's like
solar system.
it's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
like
pretty sure you can't, but I was gonna try, you know?
if there was a way, you were gonna find it.
it,
Hmm.
but it is such an intriguing game. Now, like my main concern when it came out on Switch was performance. And I know like Lucas said like he doesn't notice this stuff. And like if you are obsessed with like graphical fidelity and game performance and all that, and you're used to playing No Man's Sky on a more powerful system, you
Hmm.
might have issues with it. From what I've understand, the frame rate is capped at 30, the resolution is capped at 720. It does, either or both can dip when a lot is going on. I have definitely noticed significant pop in. Like if you're flying your ship around a planet really fast and just looking for something,
Oh
um
yeah,
yeah,
you don't want to you don't want to
you'll
fly low to the ground on a
yeah,
planet because the
exactly.
trees will
Like
just pop.
Sure,
Yeah, it's
when
sure,
you
horrible.
sure.
yeah, if you're looking for like a specific building that you've got tagged, you'll see the building pop in, and then a couple seconds later all the trees and rocks and everything will pop in. So you
Yeah,
really have to
yeah,
be
yeah,
careful when
yeah,
you're
Stay in the
landing.
sky. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
When you're landing, you really have to make sure. But like that's really like it's a minor inconvenience because like you said, nothing is like actively trying to destroy you most of the time.
yeah.
Um and when you're on the ground exploring, especially if you're playing in handheld, like it looks and plays well enough to get the job done. Like I have not noticed it being an issue at all. I haven't played it on the TV yet. I might try that tonight, but as a handheld game to just be doing while you're doing
Yeah.
something else, there's not a whole crap ton of dialogue or things to read, so you don't have to worry about it distracting you from a show or anything like that.
And most of the
There's
things you read, you can't understand anyway. Okay, can
yeah,
I? Okay,
there's a whole thing. Yeah, you
real
have a
quick.
language
Yeah,
that you have to learn.
three languages. So there's three major alien species in the game. Each one speaks their own language, and every time you encounter a new one, you get to learn one word from them. And literally, there are a ton of words in these languages. So, like I was telling Eugene, there's like the robot people and the lizard people and the big buff Klingon dudes that want to kill everything. And I've barely spoken to the big buff dudes, and I kind of am talking to the lizard people, but I started out in an area that is very much robot controlled. So like everybody that I've
Sure.
talked to is those robots. So now when they speak, it's like traveler, blah 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 blah, is blah 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 blah, trading, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, interesting.
My God, you know the same words I do.
Yeah, I know. And like I'll learn these words and start interacting with them, and you actually start to like there's a lot of like that Skyrim-esque kind of like learning through playing kind of thing. So like you can go into like the main center thing and decode a message, and it talks about how like when they're born they interact with like the older ones and like replace them and stuff. And I guess the robot people are kind of like a hive mind, so they like when one of them dies, another goes into their body and stuff. And you're like reading this data and like kind of like I could go on Wikipedia and just read everything about these species, but it's so much more satisfying
a lot of like
to read it in game, and
it
learn it
reminds me a
over
lot
the
of the
course.
logs in Metroid Prime, where
Oh, sure.
you find
Yeah.
something, you scan it, and it
Yeah.
gives you a little bit of lore that you don't really need, but it's fascinating and kind of
Yeah.
gives your story more meaning.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
worried that 3 species didn't feel like enough, but I feel like there's a lot of like I looked at the like glossary of things you can unlock, and there's like 700 archives to read from like these 3
Wow.
species and stuff, and like yeah, no, there's a lot of
I'm
things to
happy
discover.
for this game dev because they were like a little indie group, right? And then when the game
I think
first
they
launched,
really overpromised.
yeah, notoriously, it was like
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
which is why I
overpromise,
tried it out
underdeliver
on
type of scenario.
Mhm.
which is why I tried it out on Game Pass, because I remember when it first launched, there were performance issues, there was kind of a lack of content,
Mm.
just nothing really
I'm
worked right,
I'm
and
happy I
they've
waited.
spent years ironing it out, and I think it's
Yeah.
almost perfect now.
Yeah, I'm happy I waited because this was my first experience with it, and I had always just kind of chalked this game up to like this is a bad game. I've heard this is a bad
Mm-hmm.
game, but
Kind of
this
same.
kind of defeats the Miyamotoism of like a bad game is bad forever kind of thing. Like clearly they've done their work and made it,
They
good.
Final
So
Fantasy 14'd it.
yeah,
Yeah,
God, yes, that's
for
They
true.
real.
basically they
Yeah,
basically built a good game on
out of a
the
bad
rotting
game.
corpse of a bad
Yeah,
one.
Well,
yeah.
this
Well,
game
it
came out like at a time before, like there was still early access back then, but it wasn't like as
yeah.
rampant as it is today in the industry, you know? Like how
Mm.
long was freaking oh god, I can't even remember what game was in early access for years and years and years and then it just finally dropped type of thing. But yeah, no, like that this seems like
Yeah,
it's a labor of love from these devs. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm digging it.
It's a solid game. I can definitely, like, if the open world exploration immersive, gameplay thing is your thing, like I cannot recommend it more.
Yeah.
This is the Minecraftiest, Breath of the Wildiest, just kind of get out there and do whatever you want for hundreds of hours sort of game,
Yeah.
and I definitely will put hundreds of hours into it, but it is taking attention away from two other games that I've been playing.
Good segue.
Um, I had two games that I wanted to play for the Halloween season. One, as I mentioned last week, was Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
Mm,
Again, that's a game I have to play on the TV for, a period of time. Usually involves staying up late, which means,
mm-hmm.
losing sleep or, whatever. So I haven't put a whole lot of time into that. But I did finally purchase the Shadow Man remaster on the Switch. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for a sale, and finally I'm like, you know what, screw it. I love this game. I really want this game, and the difference between $14 and $20 for a game that I know I'll play is minimal. So I bought Shadow Man. Haven't played a whole lot of it again because I've been obsessing over No Man's Sky, but like this game, this is one of those games that is remastered in a way that it looks and sounds the way I remember it and better than it actually was. Like I can
Sure.
already tell that the dialogue is just absolutely crystal clear as opposed to the highly compressed scratchy dialogue that was on the N64 because it was a cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
Everything just sounds crystal clear. The music sounds crystal clear. All of the graphics are enhanced but not completely rebuilt. Like it's that kind of, we're going to take what existed in the original game and just make it look better.
Right.
um what's really weird is they replaced a lot of the sound effects. um I don't know, I know you guys have never played it. I don't know if any of the listeners slash viewers have ever played Shadow Man, but there was like a certain sound effect that your gun made
Mm-hmm.
in the dead side, and the your standard kind of like cursed zombie people made. Both of those have been completely replaced. I don't know whether it's better or worse. um
It's different.
Originally the sounds that they made was very kind of like zombie monstrous. It was obnoxious, but it was, like unearthed, otherworldly. And they replace it with the sound of like a woman shrieking and screaming. So it's
Mm,
no
that's weird.
less, yeah, it's no less annoying, but like it just doesn't, like, I don't know how it fits. I'm gonna have to put many hours in it, but um from what little I've played, it plays exactly like it always did with a few like modern enhancements. There's a checkpoint system, thank God. Um the maneuvering is now done with dual stick, so you don't have to, do the lock on and run around
Oh,
thing that,
right.
you always
Z
had to do on the
targeting thing.
N64.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it used the Zelda style Z targeting, which isn't quite as engaging for a shooter. Um,
Sure.
and it does has some. I wish it had some more options as far as like like difficulty and things kind of like No Man's Sky has, where you can adjust those things. There are no
Hmm.
cheats built into it, so if I reach a point where I'm just getting hammered, I might then have to stop playing it. But I definitely will not finish it before Halloween because I know I didn't the last time I tried to play this for Halloween. But like, I cannot stop recommending this game. It was a great game on the N64, and it's a great game now. It's really one of those sleeper hits that like almost nobody played, but everybody who played it loved it.
Yeah,
Um,
I've never heard of it before until you started talking about it.
yeah, but so I'm hopefully going to be putting some more time into that. But like I said, No Man's Sky usurped my Animal Crossing
Yeah,
time, so
yeah.
Sure.
that's saying something.
So I was obsessively playing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like that fighting game that came out a couple weeks ago. That was
Hmm.
all I was doing. It was my whole life was playing that game. And it's just a dumb fighting game. Like there was nothing to it. That I have barely touched it since No Man's Sky dropped. Like it's all I've been doing is playing No Man's Sky. And it feels good, Justin, to be on the same page as you for once. Because usually we are like diametrically opposed on things, but it feels good that we can come together in our appreciation of a truly enjoyable game. So
Sure.
Hmm.
Well, what else you
And
guys
that's
been
about it.
playing? Is
'Cause
that it?
yeah, I mean that's about it for me. No, a lot of No Man's Sky and a little bit of there's a couple of other games. I think I might have done a Picross puzzle once or twice.
all right.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
I'm
did
still
play
on Picross
Sudoku.
one.
I,
So
I, I busted out my 3DS and put in brain training and played Sudoku the other day because I just wanted to play Sudoku. So that
I
was
have
fun.
not played
I
Sudoku in so long.
I weirdly thought about playing Pushmo the other day, of all
Oh,
things. So do with that information what you will. Anyway, with that said, we are done for the day, for the night, for the moment that you've been listening to this show. Thank you for joining us. This was fun. I had a good time tonight talking about all this stuff. So we'll be back again next week. We'll talk about some more stuff and keep this gravy train a rolling. Bye bye.
Were you about to steal my outro?
No,
See you
I
real
was gonna
soon.
do. There you go. Yeah, no, I was gonna do my YouTube
That works.
see ya, but that just kind of went. Anyway,
Adi-
bye.
adios.
There's a lot of
That's
high pitched
horrible.
noises.